getting into game number 2, one of the players I want to pull focus onto is Xunge. Of course, got second in that last game, but throughout the tournament, he's been making some incredible performances and turnarounds as a player. The one problem you flagged, though, Makes, is he's a little inconsistent.
Yeah, that was something that really stood out to me when I looked at Xunge's comps yesterday night in all of his 10 games. There's always like a double. First time he plays it really well, second time he plays it, it's kind of like a bottom 4, not really great. So I'm missing these consistent finishes. He doesn't seem to have a straight style. He's very flexible, which is great, but the consistency is not just there yet.
Well, we'll see. Pirate's Greed is the Mirage variation, which is also just another very underrated variation of Mirage. You can totally play it early for the economy, but if you're able to spike that early Deja, we saw, actually it was, I believe it was Fritz who utilized, or Noel was able to utilize the Deja with Pirates early to get things like that Fast 8, and then we thought about Fast 9, we ended up staying at 8 and rolling for Itis 3.
For a second there, I thought Xunge sold the Senna 2 at the start of the round because she disappeared and I was a little terrified. But we're going to be seeing this start out. Now, this is something you'll see in the Chinese region a lot. They really like the Rage Wing opener, but this is setting up. Holding some guild units, holding a Senna, happens to be good at holding Xayah's items. Just a thought.
That's right, that's right. It's within that trait. Theoretically, Xunge could also try to greed for something else, depending on what his openers are. He does open with Volibear, so that could change things a little bit. But let's see the augment at 2-1 and see if that shapes up the lobby.
Prismatic?
If it's going to be a silver all the way to prismatic like Nick is saying.
Sorry, Chad.
No.
I love you. I'm not doing this to mess with you, but it is going to be golden augments.
Oh, press the attack.
If Swift Shot was your angle, beautiful option there. But it also means signaling to everyone else that you've now locked yourself into this comp. So I'm scared about that one.
Yeah, the downside of Press the Attack is it's quite weak early. First, we don't even really have a reliable front line, so you're not going to be playing into it. Double Trouble is also an extremely powerful augment. And Xunge actually takes it, and he has that sword so he can play off of that. Meanwhile, let's take a look at what other people are getting. Title did start off with that tier and pick Salvage Bin, which is actually really good for the type of early game flexibility that he's looking for. Plus, he even has that early Volibear, just needs that Jax.
Something really interesting, I'm just pointing on the screen like a maniac. Rainplosion on the right side, of course, gonna come in with the Clear Mind. And that, to me, is always very interesting. Cluttered Mind is usually the preferred version to go into this. You can just rank up a few units and get that extra XP rolling. But Clear Mind, we don't see as much.
It's still pretty strong. I mean, it's an econ-based augment. You're not expecting to win streak very often, but you can get some easy wins if you're over-leveled. And Rain starts off, not able to get the kill. Looks like just a little bit too short. But yeah, Clear Mind is still really powerful. That enables fast 8 strategies primarily. You can also think about going it for a fast 7. In fact, there's a very infamous moment in China where they played Clear Mind into preparation, which I know what you're thinking. It sounds highly ridiculous, but they used it to get to fast 7, played Seraphine Graves, and then prep the bench and sack Clear Mind. These are some of the different ways you can combine these augments for some powerful combos.
Yeah, looking across the board, we can see the Shimmer Scale Heart, and the thing that I'm taking note of here is the Draven's Axe. Often underrated when you're going for Deja, usually signals that you don't want the Shimmer Deja as much, but as an early game gold generator alongside the Rage Blade, there is nothing like it.
It's true, it's true. If you can get the stacks reliably, we got, what, 19 out of 1 fight, so by the end of the stage, we should get a component and that goal, which is really good. We're on pace. The only thing is that our front line is quite poor. Yeah. And so if we meet a composition that has a lot of damage early on, we might get our Ezreal bum rushed, but it looks like everything's okay. As long as Lifespan can continue stacking up to like 40, maybe even 50 this fight, I think everything is looking nice.
Yeah, there we go. 40 has been reached, and it seems like the 50 should also be in it for him. So that is looking really, really good. I don't think he can take down Vladimir, but those are the stacks you want, and he takes him down as well. Lifespan smiling right now, more like life's good.
Yeah, I'll say. I mean, this is a fantastic start for him. And Lifespan, despite the fact that he leans heavily towards Deja, is pretty capable of playing a wide range of compositions. We saw him play Double Trouble Dark Flights. We saw him play Built Different, actually, a couple times.
Yes.
That. So he clearly understands many different compositions in the game.
that build different board was truly, truly something, because he had a Graves 3, he had a Hecarim 3, he had a Varus 3. It was just all sorts of very crazy into comps, and he did super with it. I love when players go for build different. That to me always signals just a heart to chat. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Goes up against Here We Go. Doesn't have a Swift Shot. I think the one thing that's missing from Life's Bad is doesn't have a Swift Shot to really pair easily with this. But going up against Here We Go, and again, Here We Go has a Kai'Sa 2, so it's whether or not Kai'Sa can get past the front line fast enough and blitzkrieg this Ezreal. But, you know, Life's Bad's going to basically get that component right after the carousel, maybe potentially even this fight. And that's just going to be a huge lead. Ladan was looking good from Fritz. It's looking really good right now as well.
Nice.
Prince an item before and wins. This is so big because now he can react off that component for the carousel.
Lifespan is on a really good trajectory, and here we go with that Kai'Sa. Makes, as you pointed out, the trade sector alongside it means we see a pretty solid angle there for Here We Go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're somebody like me who enjoys re-rolling, then Trade Sector is always the one augment that makes you smile. And Here We Go has that Trade Sector, has the Kai'Sa 2 already, so a pretty good setup. But I'm very curious to see what's going on with Rain, as she has a vest on the board currently and is hopping in with that BF sword. Looks like she found a Xiaoyu.
Whoa, early Xiaoyu, and she's racking up that goal with the Pirates. This is a really good spot. She can make Edge of Night immediately as well. So despite the fact that Rainplosion was lose streaking, she's in a position to potentially start stacking some tempo in this lobby.
But one of the things she's going to run into trouble with is Fritz. Across the board, he's running Eternal Protection, which signals a full Jade committal. So no matter what she does with this Xiaoyu, if she decides to keep it, she's going to be contested.
It's true. The composition can support 2 players very easily, sometimes 3 players, especially if you're playing in Soju's lobby. So it's really tricky to kind of like navigate it, though, because you saw she's playing an all 1-star board, and she's also greeting, so she'll have to evaluate that. We're hopping on board with Fritz, by the way, who does have that Jade board, and with that Jax 2 actually went down pretty quickly.
Yeah, really rough matchup here, as Here We Go at this early Kai'Sa 2 is just ripping through the board. The power of Trade Sector on full display.
Yeah, there's going to be one more unit taken down for Fritz, but the streak has ended for him as well as for Juanme. Both are now knocked down from their 100 streak, and it doesn't seem like we're going to get a repeat of Shunga just dominating an entire lobby on 100 HP for a long time.
So this ends up wow, 50 stacks again. Lifespan's position is almost illegal here. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but in this kind of environment where nobody's streaking, it's whoever's in the middle that has ways to get economy going that can be the ones effectively in the lead. So players like Lifespan, who already got that big gold injection, look at it, he's level 5 and 30 gold. Usually if you're full streaking, you're at level 5, 20 gold at this point. So he's already really good. Rainplosion printing out gold as well and putting on that lose streak. She lost 4 in a row. This is a 5 loss for Rain, and she's still at 84 HP, which is the ideal spot. These are the 2 players who right now probably feel like they're in the best position at the moment.
Yeah, really strong start for both of them. Life is Bad, if he has a lucky lobby, would be able to get all those stacks, but instead, Rain continuing that loss streak. Life's Bad only one off that full streak going into Krug, so were I him, I'd be pretty happy.
And taking a look, Life's Bad, that streak can be really valuable. So, I mean, everything is coming up Argentina to start things off for today. I mean, you can imagine better starts.
I'm seeing something on the right side, and maybe we can play I Spy with my little eye, but there's a dragon there that we haven't talked about yet. And I'm talking about Dunga, who has found the Zome already with the blue buff, with the Morellonomicon, and is here into Crux and a pretty okay-ish Lagoon stack for now.
Yeah, not to mention Cybernetic Uplink, which is just the augment that you're looking for when you're playing these mage-based compositions. Dongul, despite having a 70 HP loss streak, I'm sure Bebe is fist pumping, just praying that he makes items that Lord Bebe approves of.
Bebe's stamp of approval should be coming down any time now. Dongul, of course, finds the Zac in the shop. If he wants to go for that Lagoon 6, has all the gold he would need to level up for that. If he wants to convert that loss to a win.
So it's actually kind of a tough spot because Lagoon also wants a lot of economy, but you want to preserve that HP. He is at 70. A lot of times full loss with Lagoon is like in the 60s range.
Yeah.
So he could afford to lose again to get that full loss streak, one more round for that +4 gold, or +3 gold rather. So kind of a tricky spot for Dongul, ends up committing for the 6 Lagoon.
He might meet Rain, and he will here. So Rain and Dongul, both players who are on that loss streak trajectory, one of them will find a win after this round. And right now, I'm not really sure who that's going to be. Zome going in, taking down the Xiaoyu, and that clearly signals Dongul will have the win here, needs to act. And for him, this is really bad because Rain already had that 50 gold. He's on 30. He's not taking a lot out of this.
Yeah, and this is what Rain Implosion knows it's going to go in through because she has clear mind. 3-2 augment ends up being silver. So nothing too crazy, but there's a handful of Tiny Titans that I see. A lot of people like ripping it just for that HP because it's only a silver. You saw Hwanmei immediately take that. Will Xunge take that as well or pass some of these other combat augments on the left?
Take a look at the gold totals here as well. While we have all of them up, you see multiple players holding above 50. In the previous round, it was Life's Bad and Hwanmei.
Oh my gosh, Rain Implosion hit 2 Xiaoyus. That's incredible, and the fact that she can play both while not having to give up that clear mind value is also big. And then we also have the rerolls. We saw someone who had Trade Sector, I think it was Hiriko, also has preparation. So all these things, such a strong amount of boards coming up. This board, however, does not look that strong to me. It's just a Senna 1.
Yeah, it's just a Senna 1. On the other side, we are seeing what Double Trouble can do. Zeke's multiplicated by that Dark Flight with the double Rengar going into this one, and they're just showing us what that kitty cat can do.
Yeah, this is exactly what you do. And Xunge actually had 2 options here. He had the ability to roll down deep to try and 2-star his board and get a +1, so you roll 4 copies of units. Or you can roll slightly, greed, and try to go to 7 and roll on 7 and hope that you can play the Rengar-based strategy. And they end up taking Cybernetic Shell over Tiny Titans. That's going to be a really important choice down the road if he ends up being really strong because that combat augment, or he's going to wish he had that HP.
Yeah. Xunge is one of the many players who prefers going for the sort of less Swain focus. Always going to want to put on that Zeke's Herald. Always going to want to go for the double Rengar when he has the angle for it. I'm not too sold on the Rage Blade Rengar, though.
Interesting. What makes you hesitant about it?
I've seen a lot of higher damage. Rengars have more success. You go for the Infinity Edge. You go for, admittedly, another attack speed item, but in the Hurricane, which gives you a lot more AoE damage. This is somewhat mitigated by the fact that you have 2 Rengars, but he's going to have trouble if he can't rip through the lower defense ones if you don't get the 3 fast enough.
Yeah, that's right. And he also is playing Rengar 1. I'm in the camp of what you believe, which is that I think Rage Blade is suboptimal. However, I do think this composition generally struggles to kill the rods, and he did have a bow. Sure. So he's like, I have all these floating components. I kind of need something on Rengar. And despite the fact that he had something, he still lost very convincingly because this Jax ends up tanking what seems like forever. And all these units barely living is just that much less HP that he has now. Speaking of less HP or almost dead, Rain Implosion's at 38, by the way. That is a position she was used to a lot at regionals, but this is still an uncomfortable amount no matter what anyone says.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the level, and currently she's leading at least that. So level 7, while the rest of the lobby is still behind on level 6. A little bit of an early jump here into this carousel, and I am more than happy to check in with her. We can see that she slammed all item going into this. She is holding yet another BF sword. She had one from the previous carousel as well. Was on 2 Xiaoyus. I'm not sure if she found the 3rd one to make that Xiaoyu 2 just yet. I haven't seen it popped up, but that just might be me. Nope. Oh! She's there! Oh my god!
Now the question becomes, does she need to roll that much more? Obviously we want to strengthen our board a little bit, but how much does she roll? Because she wants to look at level late. That's where this comp truly unlocks. So she's rolling a little bit further, but how much is she going to go?
Oh, I really like the Ida's pickup here. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, Xiaoyu Siphon or Xiaoyu Shyvana, something we're seeing a lot of, especially the Xiaoyu Siphon, the standard comp, I want to say. But with the Idas in the front line and the Shimmer Scale item being Draven's Axe, it allows her to maybe get a little bit of extra strength here, and Ida's just very, very tanky. Throw him in as a beefy option. She can have her 50 gold, have that economy, but will it be enough here against Tidal?
Yeah, it's tough. No Guardian means that they're not as tanky as she would like it to be. Didn't end up finding the Nasus for the 5 Shimmer either. But we're onto the back line and taking out some of these units. And Xiaoyu 2 at this stage of the game is really difficult to deal with. So Rain has snapped her losing streak. But as we know, it's not about how you start the streak reversal. It's about how you finish it. Rain needs to win this next fight. It's so crucial.
Looking at a Dragon angle at the moment, trying to keep her options open. See if she keeps rolling down or just dedicates to levels at this point. 38 HP is not much to work with, but it's at least 3 hits at this stage of the game. She still has Clear Mind available to her, so she can go for a riskier, more slow-paced leveling strategy if she wants to go for that first place placement.
It's difficult too because the players that she's going up against, one of them is Here We Go, who is streaking. You have Shunga, who we know's board is not that weak at all. And then Life's Bad, who we haven't checked in, but has 1 million Draven stacks. Oh, it's Life's Bad, and he's about to collect another cash out.
Yeah, and of course, he also picked up that Tiny Titans that we spoke about when the augments came through. So he has a lot of extra HP cushion to just fall back on once the Draven's axe doesn't help him any further. But for now, it's just going to keep printing. We'll see how it does against the Xiaoyu. Of course, she will be able to take a little bit of these units here out. So if Rain should lose here, it's not going to be as painful. But the Ezreal just keeps chewing off that HP, and I don't think she can survive.
What the heck? This Ezreal is a challenger bot laner. It was just perfectly kiting, and or not kiting, but like being able to use his orb walking and keep the autos while moving across the entire battlefield. That Ezreal, where's that Ezreal when I'm playing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the problem is Xiaoyu's got no healing items at the moment. Yeah, Celestial Blessing, yeah, Jade statues, but when she goes for those big chunks, she's not getting a whole lot out of it. So all that consistent damage unchallenged from the Ezreal when she's in the front line, the only one in the front line, is going to mean she goes down.
Yeah,
okay. I just want to say something about Rain that maybe is going to make us all feel better. From what I've seen in the past 2 days, her comms and her finishes feel the safest when there is some kind of early econ involved, which she had here due to the Clear Mind. She played a lot of early Astrals, she played a lot of econ augments, and whenever she did that, she had a pretty good run. So we're seeing how this one's playing out. Siphon being found here.
Does skip the Silas. Trying to see if she can find a way to build a stronger board. Keeps finding more Xiaoyus. Is this a weird moment where we just see Xiaoyu 3 out of nowhere? She's thinking about it.
Siphon?
Oh,
Siphon
Siphon 2.
Needs to get it in. Does not. Just too slow. And the weakness of Rain is catching up to her. We called it at the very beginning of the tournament. If there's one area of improvement, it has to be that micro.
Now. Oh my god. Maybe she can still win, though. We are meeting Shungu. Shungu has found the Rengar 2 and an additional copy, but the Xiaoyu is onto them, and she will find a win here, so not too bad to have not slotted in that Siphon.
She's very fortunate that this is a terrible matchup for Darkflies. This is the one matchup you never want to queue into, so that was a little bit of a blessing from Mortdog. She's not selling her Xiaoyus, by the way, to recover some of Rico. That's 14 gold that she can go back to 20. She committing to Xiaoyu 3?
Oh, I like that.
Transfer, though?
Oh, augments. Augment time.
Eternal Protection would be great. Oh!
Goes for the instant Celestial. She knows that Xiaoyu has no healing. She sees that weakness and instantly locks in that Celestial to counter it. I really like it.
Dongle, Totem of Traits, has Lagoon and Mage as an option. A lot of powerful augments coming out. Goes for the Mage Spat.
Yeah, I'm taking a look also at, Frizz, for example. We talked about how he was contesting that Jade line. Does end up taking a Penitence and Eternal Protection. Checking on Tidal as well.
It's a rough spot, man.
It's not great, and it looks like Tidal is going to go for a 4-5 instead of a 4-2. And I agree with this. I think Xayah comps are so expensive. I mean, Xayah alone is 12 gold, so if you level up to level 8 and you have 30 gold, that means you have to hit within just like a handful of rolls. Yeah. But this is going to be so painful. He has to hope that he's losing by the fewest units as possible, and Dongle was ready to destroy that chance.
Really rough matchup for him there. As you can see, the Sohm uncontested in the back, just tearing away. Senna's missiles are going to go wide because of that massive front line. The Tidal looks like he's about to eat a massive loss.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, at least you have a loss streak, right? But Tidal has been losing so much. That's not really what he's looking for, I think. He wants to find at least losses that are more favorable than the entire enemy board staying alive.
Right, Shungo takes another loss, which is a really big deal, by the way. Dark Flight is supposed to be dominant, especially with Double Trouble on stage 4, because you're rolling for these rain guards. Level 7 is supposed to be where you're comfortable. But the fact that he doesn't even have a second copy of Rel tells you everything. He makes a Neela too. Not something that you see all the time, but right now he's just trying to stop his lose streak at a point where he's supposed to be winning.
Yeah, definitely looking for the upgrades. There is going to be an Aphelios too, at least coming through here, but that was not necessarily what you wanted. You are looking for those Rengars that you really want to have that Rengar 3 off, but on level 7, it's just not happening for him right now.
Leaving his angles open as well for a potential Cannoneer variation. Has a couple Cannoneers on the board, was looking for them in shop.
Wow.
And this time, the Rengars are going to have a pretty good time, admittedly, into Title's little tiny Senna.
Well, Title just picked up a Deja pair. Look, oh, wow, wait, Title's level 8.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so he rolled it at 4-3 and lost anyways. I think Title just guaranteed himself in 8th place.
Okay, he lost here. But here we go, has found that Kaisa 3. And if you look at the back of the bench, there are some more units waiting there.
Yeah, he's very close, and he's going to be able to explode. We saw what Kaisa's capable of. But, you know, my attention is right back at Title as well. I mean, he just nuked his entire economy, did not really hit a lot of what he was looking for. His itemization is also a little bit awkward, and he's at 20 HP, and if he takes an 8th here, he has to climb that much more the rest of the day.
Yeah, Title in a really rough spot, but life is bad. We've seen his composition earlier on was going for that Rageblade plus Draven's Axe. Has kept that up the entirety of the game so far on 5 Swift Shot.
Yeah. We've
2
been
Swift Shot emblems.
We've been talking about the Swift Shot, Dan, and the 5 Swift Shot being really, really favorable and a great way to go into these Xayah comps. And you said it as well, Xayah extremely expensive. But with the Swift Shots that we have here, this should be a great position to pivot into it.
Yeah, it's a really awkward spot too for Lifespan because his carry is Ezreal 2, which has fallen off. He doesn't want to roll too much to weaken himself. That Braum 2 hit's actually really big to increase his front line. But it looks like he's trying to thread the needle of, can I look at going at level 9 or do you need to roll at 8? He's on the same side as the Xiaoyu, which is a little bit precarious, but he's able to dodge that. He should be good to go because he does have that 5 Swift Shot.
Now, Swift Shot's firing away, and we can see the Ezreal still mostly protected as the Varus finds another ultimate onto the Xiaoyu, so she's low. The damage comes out from Ezreal. He at least gets the payout. There goes Xiaoyu, and that means the board here for Hwan Mie has gotten a whole lot weaker. Lifespan secures another win to a 5-win streak.
Incredible. That's huge for Lifespan. If he can win one more fight, he can guaranteed try to go for a fast 9 and play for there. On the other side, that means that Hwan Mie is also playing Jade. That's 3 Jade players, and that's difficult for him because, yes, he does have this pair of Xiaoyu, but is he even going to be that strong when other players are contesting his comp?
We are seeing so many hits come in on the right side of the screen right now. All of the players are upgrading their benches, their units. We are seeing 2 stars, 3 stars flying in. And I just want to say Rain, from the last time we saw her, has been streaking, looking really good. But it is going to be Title that we're worried about here. By the way, the Zome 2 also being found for Dungo. But Title 13 HP is really the thing that could throw this lobby in for a little bit of a crazy turn, as there's going to be one player maybe eliminated before this dragon.
Yeah, that's right. And it kind of depends on whether or not Dongul can find the things that really make it work. A Last Whisper could be played for the Neela. Looks like trying to deal this Xiaoyu. Big burst from the Tide Blossom. Ends up snapping that streak from Rain. That's a pretty big loss. By the way, we see Rain still holding on to the Xiaoyu. And that's going to be griefing some of the other Jade players. And so we'll see whether or not that's going to be able to affect the rest of the Jade lobbies.
In the meantime, Title has fallen. Japan's champion down in 8th place.
Oof, look at his cam. He's devastated by it. But we kind of knew the moment he sent it at 4-3, I think that was a massive mistake. I think Title needs to hold the line. He gave up all chances of even playing for 7th place with that move. He has to reevaluate decisions and not crack under pressure.
Yeah. Everyone else, however, is going to pick something up from the Dragon here. We're checking back in with Rain. She's still holding on to those Xiaoyus. actually remade it. Okay, that's why she was holding him. Remade the Xiaoyu too, and of course you said it, her spirit animal, Soraka, is back on the board. So maybe this is the point where we can take a little breath and be relieved.
I really like this position here from Rain. Jade Soifin is one of those compositions that can get you top 4, but you need to get every single edge to get you there in a lobby this strong. So remaking that Xiaoyu while it cost her econ means that she has a much higher cap on this board. She just needs to get there.
It's true, and she doesn't have to wait for a remover off the Treasure Dragon, which is always a gamble when you're trying to play off of, like, I just need a remover, but what if you don't get offered it and you roll past some good items? So it's definitely a heads-up play there. On the other side, we do see a 3-star Kai'Sa going up against this composition. This comp can struggle versus Kai'Sa if they can't get access to the backline.
And this is not just any Kai'Sa. This is the preparation better together Kai'Sa that Here We Go has built out from the very start of the game. And she is doing exactly her job. However, the Siphon is also helping Rain here, trying to at least secure a loss that's a little bit more favorable. But she and also Fritz, both of them need to look for an upgrade here. And with 4 gold, 10 gold, there's not much way.
Yeah, it's a very difficult spot for Rain in particular because I think the matchups are quite poor in the lobby. Yeah, she does have like these upgraded dragons, but the rest of her board's all 1-star. And she doesn't have a full set of items for that Xiaoyu. Meanwhile, we're looking at Fritz. Fritz is like, well, I just want a Xiaoyu too. He's the same boat as Hwanmie, who wants to utilize the vertical J to get back in this game.
Yeah, across the board, not on screen right now, but Dongul is holding another Psalm, has Pandora's Bench, and is just cycling through Drakes, trying to find that Psalm 3.
Yeah, we are seeing him right now here with that Zone. Has been looking for some upgrades. Gold has been rolled. He is on level 8. And he's going to take down Fritz here.
No, he just got a 1st place, and now he gets a 7th and almost resets his day. Rainplosion, a terrible matchup with Zaya. She barely survives. I mean, hey, look, that's a 6th place at least. Shunga ends up taking a loss too. So these two players are going to be looking to battle for that 5th place spot. Top 4 is completely off the table for both of them. Can either of them find a way to get the edge?
125 gold here, folks. Life's bad with Tiny Titans, no less. 110 HP, 128 gold. Feels like there's no way this man loses, and he needs it after the last 2-place finish in Game 1.
I mean, you're looking at the goal, which is completely valid. I'm looking at the sheer amount of items that he's printed. Just look at it. 3 fully item champions, 2 switch out emblems, because remember, Draven's can print that spatula as well. Life's bad is the front runner to win this lobby. Can anyone keep up?
No. So Rain is going to meet up with Here We Go, and it will be once again the Kai'Sa that will be onto her. We just saw this play out, and it didn't end well for Rain, but the Siphon can dodge that Bard stun for now. Maybe he can take out enough units and make his way back there to get onto the Kai'Sa, but it's not looking like the Soraka heal will be enough. The Kai'Sa comes and she takes everything that Rain has built in this game, finds a loss here in the cutscene, and goes down.
6 is okay. I think Rain probably thought that maybe she can find a way to squeeze out 5th. I don't think she could have done much better than that, but this is a nod to why Hwanmie is so good. He was in a 3-way contest in a lobby, and he just always finds a way to play contested in such a unique way. His mid-game is phenomenal and set him up to be able to get a top 4 despite the fact that he hit the last.
Watching that Zephyr rotate into Here We Go. Life's Bad would have enjoyed it, but he's got the choice of the litter here. Guardian emblem on top of the already 2 swift shot emblems he slammed. Gonna be an interesting comp as we see Shunga finally hit that Aphelios 3, but still off of the Rengar.
Well, at least it's the Aphelios 3 that's going to be profiting off of that double trouble here. He's going to pick that one up and can slot it in right away. A lot of Zeeks to go around with this comp, but it's not better together as augment that he has right now. So really, there is not much you can do. Still missing one more Rengar to build that Rengar 3, and he will go into this next fight, either facing Here We Go or Life's Bad, and it will be Here We Go.
Oh, the Zephyr as well, landing onto the Rengar. So the Rengar's trying to see if he can do anything, but it's going to be really tough if you can't take down Kai'Sa, and one Rengar is going to come down in a sec.
Kai'Sa lives through 1 and 2 Rengars. She's safe in the backline, burning to the Sunfire, but by that point, it doesn't matter. Shunga, head set off, head down, takes a loss, 5th place.
That's okay. I think the 5th, given the way his stage 4 went, and obviously the way the rest of his stage 5 went, 5th is, again, how he could have maximized. These top 4 players were always going to be guaranteed the top 4, so he basically maximized his placement. Shrinker should be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I think right now you're just playing to accumulate as many points as you can, and if you can save yourself from a 7th to a 5th, then at least that's 2 more points you're going to get here. Yep. That's how Checkmate just works.
Pantheon 3 was just hit by Dongul.
Oh,
and that's a unit you don't even really think too much about. It's a situational unit you play in combination with Zyra. And he ends up going for a Pantheon 3, despite 3 Jade players in the lobby who were open to the idea of playing Pantheon.
Well, we're going to have to see how strong this unit is. Pantheon 3 hasn't been the 4-star you roll for in this comp. Obviously, you want to go for the Psalm, but Pantheon has that massive natural damage reduction, Whisper stacks firing away, and just look at him shred through this front line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even with these Thieves' Gloves items, not necessarily what you would think is really good, but this comp is just shredding.
So much damage, and now there's 3 major threats, the Sohm, the Neela, and the Pantheon 3. Can anyone take him down? Here we go, ends up taking a loss. So Dongul right now has improved his chance
That's a
to win the
swift shot
lobby.
spat.
Another one?
So that's kind of awkward because it is another swift shot spat, yes, but
I don't think you want to go for it.
We already have 5 switch. I guess we can cut Varus at this point, which is nice. I guess it's kind of like a tactician's ground in that sense.
Yeah. Got options. We'll see if he goes for it or just leaves those components out. At this rate, we're 100% sure he's going to get at least another item with that massive HP total, 94.
Interestingly enough, Lifespat also was holding Neela's onto the bench, trying to deny Neela 3. Dongul is not done yet. Look at how much gold he has despite hitting Pantheon 3. Yeah. That's actually the big thing that stuck out to me the most. Now he can actually play for extra credit. What will Dongul choose? He can perhaps go to 9 and just find ways of playing good Legendary instead of trying to chase another 3-star.
Full sends it. Spent all of his gold down despite seeing the Psalm in the shop, going for what I believe is the safer play. Instead of betting on finding 6 Psalm before you go down, find something that gives you power now.
I mean, keep in mind, Dongul is, to me, the Dragon player. So he's going to be the one that we're always looking to go into those final stages of Dragon boards. But Lifespat here has slammed that Swift Shot emblem, is now on 6 Swift Shot with that Swift Shot Yasuo.
Yeah, trying to see if he can survive the onslaught. Hwami actually jumped the Xayah very quickly. That's a big source of his damage. If he loses that Xayah, it could be pretty devastating. But thankfully, the Guardian Shield's just too much. And now the big gem's about to kick in. That's plus 52% damage. And this is why Lifespat has been so dominant, has such a strong combination. Needlessly big gem and that Draven's Axe. Hwami was always going to get something like 3rd or 4th this game. So I think at this point, he's just given up. I don't think he can do too much better than this.
Size of that loss was incredible.
Oh, hold
Jace
on a second.
Hold up.
Spoke way too soon. That's a Jace 3.
All right, well, this is going to help out his front line. You can see huge damage and tankiness coming out onto this Jace. Now has 2 tank items open as well if he wants to itemize that Jax to finish it up. Will Reforge instead, trying to find, I assume, an offensive item for the Xiao Yu, which is still 1 star, by the way.
Yeah.
So 13 HP going into this. We have seen, here we go, take out players one after another in this tournament. Will Hwami follow here, or can he cheese out a win?
Here comes the Jace, boom, into the front line, but Kai'Sa still uncontested as Xiao Yu and Jace plug away as much as they can, but as the targets go down, so does Jace's health bar. The Bard saves time, but not the Jace, and now Hwami against, here we go, his own countryman will fall.
Oh,
okay, all right, 1 HP.
Natural 1.
That Soraka cast is really big.
Oh,
and
look at the damage. The damage dealt by these 2 units, 15k to 14k, we're talking about a 3-star 2 cost versus a 3-star 4 cost.
Yeah, it's really about the Dragonmancer hyper carry that amplifies all the damage onto 1 unit. But more importantly, the positioning for Hwami was really insidious that fight. His Jace was on the exact opposite side of the carry. He's melee. He takes a long time. Any unit that dashes forward interrupts him. He's going up against Dongul, who has that Pantheon 3. Which 4 cost is going to reign supreme?
Dungle also just now found a Yasuo too, if I saw that correctly, that just popped up. Yeah, there it is. So the Pantheon 3 will be the wall to crack down on one side, Jace waiting on the other one. But while these two battle it out, the rest of the team for Hwanmi has fallen.
Whoa.
There's no one left that this Jace could protect. Everyone is gone, and he falls into 4th place.
Okay, I promise you Jace 3 is not that bad as it looks. It's
Are
just
you
that
sure?
these boards are just that cracked.
Hell of an opening statement there, Frodo.
It's not, I promise you.
Guys, I know what it looks like.
Another Dragonmancer emblem.
Oh,
People are
please tell me
getting
he takes the
stronger.
Swift Shot, please.
I mean, do you even
Lifespan
need
is
it?
just
Please.
gonna have like 5 Swift Shot without having any Swift Shot at this point.
It doesn't need it, and I like that
I
recognition.
know.
In fact, Lifespan actually may run into a problem pretty soon.
Oh.
He might not have enough spots on his board to
Yeah.
play items. Like,
He
look at
is level 9. He needs units
Oh.
to carry something.
The Latam
Oh.
special. Itis 3 is coming at you. Just one more to find here on this board. We'll see if he keeps rolling.
How is there 2 Pantheons in the shop? There's a Pantheon 3 in the field. This game
don't worry
has
about it.
thrown probability out the window, but most importantly, what's the probability that Lifespan can get this Itis 3? Will people catch on and deny it? Is he going to get Zephyred, or rather, is the Sohm going to get Zephyred? An excellent dodge by Dongul.
Now here comes the Psalm into the back line. That Pantheon doing all he can in the front line. So much damage from the back. Pantheon, Psalm, Zoe, uncontested. And here we go. Takes a huge loss.
Look
Yeah,
at gaps
4
in
HP.
power. Hwanmi got completely destroyed by that Lagoon board, and then you see it crush another really strong board in that Kaisa. It just shows you just how insane this lobby is.
I really, really want Life to roll for this Itis. I'm sorry, I just want to see it pop up once more. He has so much gold. He is on level 9, has been on level 9 for so much time. He went into this with like 130 gold or something, so he really can take it all, but he's just chilling. He doesn't want to roll it for now. He's just going to reposition a little bit, going to pop up that gem and put it on someone else as soon as we go into the game, and is figuring out how to play against Here We Go, who he could absolutely take out here.
Oh, the Zephyr onto the Itis is huge.
Life is bad. Strongest board in the lobby, so we've seen at the moment. And Zaya ripping through the front line. A beautiful tear back. Itis uncontested once again. And the Kaisa firing away as best she can. One more ultimate. Needlessly big gem will pop. And all alone, Kaisa cannot prevail. Here we go. Falls in 3rd.
Can Dongul take out this incredible Shimmer Scale board? And you talked about rolling for Itis. I think we can roll it above our interest gold.
Oh, we're rolling. Finding a Soraka. I like that. Keep going, keep going. Come on. Don't be shy. You have so many Swift shots. Surely you can put another one out.
He has so much HP, he doesn't actually need to roll that much. And believe it or
Just
not,
want him to.
I know it's totally
Sorry.
fine to want to, but for people who actually think it's the actual optimal play, it's actually one of the ways he can lose this game if he misses completely. So I think that for now, staying really composed and calm, he has so much HP to play with. In fact, he can chase more than Itis.
Oh, there it is!
There is an Itis 3!
Life is bad coming in already. Strongest board in the lobby. 5 Swift Shot, Tiny Titans, Itis 3. How do you stop him?
Well, this is a composition that actually can, because only one unit cares about the front line in this Pantheon. The other 2 units, Neela and Sohm, and even Yasuo, find its way to the backline really often. And again, Itis 3 is great, but that's assuming your damage stays alive.
I mean, keep in mind, Dongul has been on a 14-win streak. That's not something you scoff at. So I'm pretty sure this one could be close. Both of them, of course, have a lot of HP that they can still work with. So on both sides, we are seeing a little bit of a slowing down and rolling. We have Dongul with the Pandora's Band, who has put legendaries in all slots. And I'm just watching on how this one plays out.
The free resets from Neela. Look at that shielding through all of the Guardians. She has been uncontested. Finally falls to another auto from Zaya. And Life's Bad will survive. But it was so much closer than it deserved to be.
That's such a positioning diff. I think Dongul needs to get things like Neela onto the Xayah, stuck forever onto Idas 3. Also needs to find a way to get Som on the proper angle. By the way, chasing Zoe 3, we're 7. Zoe 3 is a legitimate win condition to beat Idas 3.
And now we can see no gold left. Oh, huge sale coming out there from Dongul. Pantheon 3 is gone off the board. Full roll down. Doesn't find it.
No!
Wait a second.
He's full selling.
He's full selling.
He's got to go for this Zoe. Oh, brutal.
How much HP does he have? Can he live for one more fight? No, he's at 22 HP, so this is why he committed everything. He's trying to full send it. And you see Lifespan was on it as well. He rolled a bunch of gold to find that Zoe. This should be the end of the game.
Yeah, the Idas is just in the enemy backline. That zone won't do anything here. Everybody is just on him and battling it down. Dongul falls, and Lifespan takes another win for LATAM in our final day of the TFT Championship.
It feels like the LATAM special at this point is just shimmer scale. We've seen 2 games in a row where one of the LATAM players has